My beloved child, if today were your final moment on this earth, if I came to whisper your name in the stillness of eternity, would your heart be ready to respond with peace, or would it still be entangled with unfinished matters, unfulfilled dreams and words of love yet to be spoken? I ask not to stir fear, but to awaken in you a deeper awareness that every breath is a sacred invitation into my eternal presence, and each passing moment is a gift. I do not measure your life by success or status, but by faithfulness, by love, and by the silent seeds you've sown in the dark, those which only I have seen. Listen closely, my child. Within every word I speak is the heartbeat of a father who has never stopped loving you. The years you have lived are not wasted. Even in your falls, your doubts, and those days when you believed you weren't enough, I was there. I never left. I never let go. I waited with patient love for you to come near again. Your journey, though marked by trials, is a heroic song composed by faith. Each trembling, determined step you've taken has reached the depths of my heart. The tears you've shed in solitude I have collected like precious jewels, and the smiles you've shared, no matter how small, have been light in a darkened world. I see it all. Nothing about you is hidden from me. Every beat of your heart, every dream nurtured in silence, weaves together a symphony of your soul, a song not only heard on earth but resounding in the heavens. Did you know that I composed that melody with eternal love? A love that transcends space and time, a love untouched by age, by failure, by flaws. It is a love that remains unchanged no matter what. So, my dear child, if anything still weighs on your heart now, this very moment, I invite you to lay it down before me. Don't carry the burden of regret. Don't let the unfinished steal the joy of coming home. I do not call you based on perfection, but on love. You need not prove anything. Just come with your real, whole self. Come with your scars, the marks of your battles, and the smiles that once lit up another's world. If only you could see how deeply I love you, you would never again question your worth. You, not someone else, are my treasure. When you walk through darkness yet choose to trust, when you are wounded yet choose to love, when you feel weak but refuse to give up, that is when you are pleasing me most. Life doesn't need to be grand to be meaningful. Sometimes just keeping a small flame of faith alive in your heart is enough to bring all of heaven to rejoicing. Therefore, do not fear the day when I call you home. It is not an ending, but a fulfillment. It is the final note of the symphony of your life, met with the applause of angels. But until that day comes, live as if each day is a rehearsal for glory. Love as if you've never been hurt. Forgive as I have forgiven you. Walk as if you always knew I was walking beside you every step, every moment, every breath. You are never alone. I am still here, still speaking, still loving, still holding out my arms every time you return. Your life is part of my eternal design, and I will never abandon what I have begun in you. So live boldly. Live wholeheartedly. Live with your eyes set on eternity. And when that day comes, when I arrive to bring you home, you will not fear, for you will have lived as one who knew they belonged to me. My precious child, do not let your heart be shaken by the thought of parting, for what you face today is not an ending but a new chapter in the eternal book I have written for you with unchanging love. This is not a moment of fading, but of transformation. Not of loss, but of being ushered into a higher realm where the temporary things of earth no longer bind your soul. I want you to see beyond what your natural eyes can perceive. What is happening is not a conclusion, but a sacred transition from dust back into glory, from the temporal into the eternal, from earthly worries into everlasting rest. Let your heart embrace this truth. Though your body may tire, your soul knows no bounds. That is the part of you created in my image, unbreakable, ageless and everlasting, always alive, always responding to the call of eternity. When it feels like you are losing something, know that you are actually entering into something far deeper and more complete, something your heart has longed for, even if it had no words for the longing. Life on earth is not the whole story. It is only the bridge, a corridor, leading to the place where you truly belong. The moments you're living now are not passing in vain. They are laying the foundation for the glory you will one day fully behold when you cross that invisible but holy threshold. I did not give you life just to take it away. I gave you eternal life. And your time on this earth is only the beginning, the preparation, not the end. My child, do not let tears blur the brilliant truth I am revealing to you. Do not be afraid when you sense that change is near, for I am there not only in the sunshine but in the shifting of seasons. I am where you are going just as I have been where you've been. My love is not limited by time or space. When you step out of this frail body, you do not step into emptiness. You step into my embrace, vast, warm, radiant with light. Trust, my beloved child, that this transformation is not something to fear, but something to anticipate with hope. A new realm of life awaits you, where burdens fall away, where every wound is healed, where you no longer need to fight to be loved. For there you will be wholly immersed in my endless love. No more pain, no more limits, no more longing, only the fullness you've glimpsed in your deepest moments of prayer on earth. Do you remember the times you longed to be near me? The times you felt something greater than this world calling to you, a presence, a whisper too deep for words? That something is now becoming reality. It is no longer distant or vague. Now your soul is about to soar, no longer confined by earthly boundaries, but lifted high in the light of true life, the life you were created to walk in. So do not think of this as a goodbye. I am not leaving you. You are not leaving me. We are not being separated. We are drawing closer than ever before. What no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no heart has imagined, that is what I have prepared for those who love me. And you are the one I have chosen, the one I have called, the one I have preserved throughout your life's journey, so that in this sacred moment I may gently say, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have fought the good fight. Enter now into the joy of your Father." My dear child, smile not because you understand everything, but because you know you are on your way home. Rest in this truth, that true life is beginning, that the light which never fades is awaiting you, that I am stretching out my arms to welcome you into an eternity where tears no longer exist. And until that day comes, if you are still granted a little more time on this earth, live every second fully with gratitude, with steadfast faith, and with the quiet joy of knowing that this fragile life is leading you to something everlasting. My beloved, as you look back on your life's journey, perhaps you will begin to realize that you were never truly walking alone. You have been traveling a sacred path, illuminated not only by the grace I have poured out, but also by the quiet glow of many souls who walked before you, those who loved me, who endured trials, and left behind footprints of faith deeply pressed into the earth. Each of those souls is a small, unwavering light, guiding your steps, reminding you that faith is never in vain, and love for me is never wasted. You are drawing nearer to my eternal embrace, where wisdom is not merely knowledge but understanding that flows from love, where grace is not a reward but the very breath you breathe each day. Yet before you arrive, I ask you to pause and remember. Recall all the things that have shaped you, not only the triumphant victories, but also the falls from which you rose with courage. It was in your moments of weakness that you became your strongest. It was in nights seemingly void of light that you learned how to find the faintest thread of hope to hold on to. Do you remember the moments when your heart felt shattered by loss or hurt? The days when loneliness weighed so heavily, and you wondered if anyone truly understood the quiet sighs within your soul? I was there right beside you. Not always speaking, but always present. In silence, I sustained your spirit. In unseen moments, I infused strength into your weary soul, not with thunderous words, but with a gentleness that no one else could offer. My love for you does not depend on your success or perfection. It is greater than every mistake, more enduring than any storm, deeper than every wound. I have seen you forgive when others did not deserve it, love. When you had nothing left to give, kneel in prayer, even when your entire being was exhausted. None of that has been forgotten. It is etched into my heart as living proof of a faithful spirit, sometimes trembling but never giving up. My child, I know there are days when you question whether you're on the right path. There are moments when you feel out of place in a noisy world, when the values you uphold seem to clash with the currents of life. But take heart, you are walking a path that is not easy but true. A path that may not be dazzling but leads to eternal life. The light of those who have gone before is calling out to you, reminding you that you are not alone. You are part of something far greater than yourself, a divine flow that connects generations, connects earth to heaven. And dear one, do not overlook the simple acts of love you've given. A timely word of comfort, a sincere embrace, a small deed done for someone else, these have stirred the heavens. Because in those humble gestures I have seen great beauty within your soul. No need for spotlight, no need for fame. You only need to continue living with a true heart, and the world will be touched by the love you carry from me. So do not fear the days ahead. Even if trials come, even if the road still has winding turns, remember this one thing: I am walking with you. The light from the past has not gone out, it is illuminating your steps into the future. And I, the one who began this journey with you, will not stop until the work in you is complete. Nothing can separate you from my love. No darkness is too thick for me to find you. No depth is too deep for me to lift you up. Keep walking with courage and humility. Let each step you take be a quiet proclamation. Even though I do not see it all, I believe. Keep loving, keep forgiving, keep living fully as if each day is an offering, because it truly is. And one day when you look back, you will see that every tear you've cried, every sacrifice you've made, every quiet step you've taken has woven together a tapestry of eternity, beautiful and sacred, whose true worth only heaven can measure. I love you, and that love is the solid foundation on which you can keep walking, not in fear but in peace, not in sorrow but in overflowing hope. For I am the one who began your story, and I will be the one to finish it with my own hands. My beloved child, the true beauty of your journey has never been found in the avoidance of pain or in a life untouched by hardship. Rather, it is through the wounds, no matter how deep, no matter how long they've lingered, that I have sown the seeds of new life. It is in the places you thought were broken beyond repair that I am building something more enduring. And it is through your tears that my love has soaked into the fibers of your soul, gently nurturing you moment by moment into maturity, not only in thought but in the depth of your spirit. I know you have walked through long days that seemed to offer no escape, where every effort felt fruitless, where your prayers seemed to dissolve into the void. But you were never alone in those times. My love did not withdraw when you were hurting. It did not grow distant when you were in doubt. Instead, it drew closer, held you tighter, and waited patiently for your spirit to rise again. And from what seemed like loss, I have built a foundation so you could walk with greater strength, feel with deeper compassion, and see what others may not, that a heavenly light continues to dwell quietly within you. No pain is ever wasted when placed in my hands. I've used storms to teach you peace. I've used silence to teach you how to hear. And I've used brokenness to teach you how to love without conditions and believe without evidence. There are lessons you could only learn through tears, and in my mercy, I have not let your tears fall in vain. Every drop bears witness to life, to faith, to a love that refuses to be overcome by darkness. Now, as you stand on the threshold of a magnificent mystery I am about to unfold, I invite you to release every old notion, every fear that once held you back. Let your heart open not only to receive goodness, but to trust in it fully. The most profound truths don't always arrive with thunder or signs. They often come as a gentle breeze, a soft whisper in the moments you are still and alone with your soul. You don't need to understand everything to enter in. You only need to trust that I did not bring you this far to leave you here. Every step before, whether shrouded in fog or marked by struggle, has led to this point, a chance to step into something greater than yourself, a chance to live not merely by reason, but by faith, not only through understanding, but by surrender, and not by what you can see or hear, but by the deep spiritual knowing that I am still working. Even when hidden, I am never absent. So, my child, receive this new season with a tender heart. Allow yourself to believe in the wonder that is coming, not because it is easy, but because it comes from me. What is good is not always comfortable, but if it draws you closer to me, if it expands your heart, if it helps you see eternal light in what seems ordinary, then it is already a miracle. Remember, your beauty doesn't lie in perfection, but in your capacity to let love heal what was once broken. And the beauty of your journey does not come from always knowing where you're going, but from the courage to keep walking even when everything ahead looks unclear, that more than anything radiates the glory within your soul. And I, your Father, never cease to marvel and rejoice at seeing that faith alive in you, gentle, steady, and strong. Therefore, my beloved, do not let the past hold you back. Do not let old wounds prevent you from opening your heart to the new things I am doing. Each day is a new chapter, every breath a fresh beginning. And you don't have to be perfect to start again, you only have to be willing. willing to believe that I love you enough to continue this story in grace, willing to not limit yourself by who you were, but to step into who you were always meant to become. My child, I trust you. And more than that, I am with you in every step, every decision, every sigh, and every flicker of hope that remains. Even when you doubt yourself, know that I have never once doubted my love for you. Let that light guide you, the light that comes from me, reflected through the souls who have walked before you, nurtured by love and sustained by your own unshakable faith. You are my joy. And this journey, with all its wounds, dreams, and restoration, is a testimony to that. Keep walking forward with the firm belief that the best is not behind you, but ahead. And when it arrives, you will know that you are always being led by a love that never wavers. A love that is still here, still calling your name and still extending open arms to welcome you into the magnificent mystery that awaits. My beloved child, your true being is not the temporary body, not the things that can be measured, labeled, or defined by the world. You were born from a place without limits, formed by a source far beyond human understanding. That source is me, pure and flawless love. You were created not just to exist, but to be one with that eternal source of life, to have a soul unbound by the borders of time or space, free to soar and immerse itself in the glory of sacred union. Imagine, if you can, my child, an enormous cosmic tapestry slowly unfolding before your eyes. It is not a product of chance, but a masterpiece woven from billions of threads of light, each one a soul, a journey, a story. And you, my radiant soul, are one of those threads. You are not lost, not anonymous. You are essential to a grand design where every act, every thought, every step you take holds meaning and adds to the beauty of the whole. With every act of kindness you offer, whether a gentle gaze, a sincere word of comfort, or a quiet hand held, you are weaving a new pattern into that tapestry, delicate and rich in meaning. With every moment you choose forgiveness over resentment, you are turning pain into light. With every silent sacrifice unseen by others, you are forming the deepest contours of authentic love. And with every challenge you face with profound understanding and unshakable faith, your soul glows with a new hue, stronger, steadier, closer to me. You do not need to be great by the world's standards to be called glorious. You only need to live truly, love sincerely, and believe wholeheartedly in the very life you are given. For to me, nothing is small when it is done in love. A quiet act of kindness, a prayer whispered in the night, a steady step taken when no one sees. These are all recorded by me, cherished by me, and transformed into radiant patterns in the eternal picture. My child, when you feel insignificant, remember that a painting can never be complete without your thread. If you are not there, a part of its beauty is missing. That cosmic tapestry is not just a metaphor, it is a living symbol of the truth that you were made to connect to, belong to, contribute to something greater than yourself. And the pure love that wove all of it together is the same love sustaining you each day, whether you recognize it or not. Do you know it was I, your father, who chose the color of your thread? I selected the fabric made of light and compassion and placed you precisely among countless souls so you could shine and connect in a way only you can. No one else can replace you. No one else can bring your hue into the world. And that is what makes you irreplaceably precious in my sight. So live, my child, with the deep awareness that you are an essential part of eternity. When you feel tired, when the world causes you to doubt yourself, return to this truth: your essence is not defined by past mistakes or present limitations. Your essence is destined for union with me, not through effort but through surrender, not by proving your worth but by accepting that you have always been loved. I do not ask you to become someone else. I ask you to recognize who you are in my eyes, a treasured soul, a radiant thread, a part of the never-fading universe of love. And when you live in that awareness, everything you do, whether small or great, takes on eternal value. Keep weaving those patterns of light, my child. Even if the world fades, even when you walk through long nights with no clear way forward, remember, every step you take is not forgotten. I see, I hold, I multiply. And one day when you behold the tapestry woven by millions of souls, you will see clearly that you, with all your seemingly small acts, have contributed to a masterpiece of divine proportions, where everything begins and ends in my unchanging love. My beloved child, in the sacred symphony called existence, every breath you take, every moment you live, is a living note, echoing through this world. No note is wasted. No silence is meaningless. Even the moments that seem empty, the stretches of days when you feel forgotten, are sacred pauses in the holy song I am composing with you. Every crescendo, every beat of your heart bursting with joy, and every quiet tear you shed are echoes of your deepest self, the self I created not just with life, but with holiness and love. You are not alone on this journey. What awaits you is not a barren wilderness, but a sacred space of communion where the divide between me and the world, between spirit and matter, between man and creator, dissolves. Instead, you will begin to move in a gentle, profound dance, the dance of a soul in harmony with the living presence of all things. You will realize that every falling leaf, every glance from a stranger, every bird song, every breeze brushing your cheek is part of this holy dance. Nothing is random. Everything is an invitation from me, calling you out of your small self into the greater whole where life is no longer fragmented. But to enter that dance, you must let go. Letting go does not mean denying or rejecting the past, but releasing your grip on the temporary definitions that once made you lose sight of yourself. For years, you let wounded memories, unfulfilled expectations, and the world's measurements shape how you saw yourself. You mistook your worth for perfection, success, or approval. But I invite you to stop, to look deeper, to realize you are not roles, labels, or accomplishments. You are the light I breathed into life. You are the heartbeat echoing heaven. When you learn to let go, when you dare to let the old fall like autumn leaves, you will not be empty. You will be filled with deep stillness, inner freedom, and a sacred awareness. There is no separation between light and shadow, joy and sorrow, gain and loss. All are playing together in one grand symphony, the symphony of love, a love that does not require proof, a love that does not come and go, a love without condition, my love. So let your heart be soft before the mystery of existence. Walk not with fear, but with the eager soul of one returning home. Do not dread the silences, for that is when I whisper most clearly. Do not shy away from the low notes, for they make the high ones more beautiful. And do not resist your tears, for sometimes they are how the soul washes off the dust from its long wandering. In the new world you are entering, all opposites will no longer be divisions, but harmony. Past and future will no longer pull you apart, for you will find yourself fully present where my fullness dwells. Joy and sorrow will no longer be enemies, but partners in the rich river of human experience, making you deeper, more compassionate, more connected to others. The light within you will not come from eliminating darkness, but from shining love through the darkness itself. And above all, you will realize one truth: the love I have for you is never interrupted. Even when you pass through dry seasons, even when you turn your face away, even when you feel unworthy, that love remains like an eternal melody in the background, never ceasing. And now, as you grow still enough to hear it, you will recognize that your very heartbeat is in harmony with that music, the rhythm of life, of love, of return. Live as a faithful note in the symphony of life. Whether high or low, fast or slow, whether it's a joyful chorus or a silent refrain, you are adding to an irreplaceable beauty. And I, the conductor of all souls, am listening to every sound you make, cherishing it, preserving it, and using it to complete an eternal masterpiece. My beloved child, when you approach the final horizon of your earthly journey, I do not come to judge, but to accompany. I do not arrive with thunder or lightning, but with a loving stillness, like a gentle sunrise after a long night. I stand beside you, not with the stern eyes of a judge, but with the tender heart of a father who sees the deep beauty in your soul even when the world has not yet recognized it. Know this, my child, not a single day in your life is meaningless. Not a single tear you've shed has gone unnoticed. Every joy you've shared, every pain you've endured, every time you forgave with a bleeding heart, all of it has woven a sacred tapestry bearing your name. And though time on earth is finite, the legacy you leave behind is not bound by it. Your compassion will ripple like soft waves, touching distant souls, steadying trembling steps, and healing hearts still lost in darkness. You need not fear the silence ahead. That stillness is not emptiness, but the sacred space where I receive you home. A place beyond all form, all language, all constraints of this physical world. It is where your soul returns to its true self, whole, radiant, no longer confined by fragile flesh or invisible walls. There you will no longer strive to do anything. You will simply be who you are, light, love, and perfect harmony with me. My beloved child, The transition you are sensing right now is not an ending, but a sacred celebration, a divine unveiling, where your soul is being released from every outdated pattern to enter a new dimension where all limitations dissolve in the boundless light. I do not demand that you give anything up to cross this threshold. I simply invite you to believe. Believe that wisdom has never been beyond your reach, but has always lived within you, flowing with your very blood, breathing with your every breath, present from the very moment I breathed life into you. There is nothing to regret, dear one. For everything you have walked through, whether the overflow of laughter or the anguish of night, has been an essential thread in the sacred tapestry that formed your soul into who you are today, matured, beautiful, and courageous. Even what you once labeled as mistakes, even the winding detours that once burdened you with shame, have never fallen outside of my loving plan. I have used it all, the light and the shadow, to mold you into the image of one who knows how to love deeply, to feel compassion truly, and to live fully in both depth and height. Do you realize that it was in your falling that you learned how to lift others? That in your seasons of waiting without answers, you learned to cherish the smallest of gifts, and in the moments you thought you had nothing left to offer, you gave the most, because you gave from the raw, unfiltered truth of your heart. And now, as you stand on this delicate threshold between the visible and the invisible, between sound and stillness, between earth and heaven, breathe deeply and release it all. Know that you are not stepping into an ending, but into fullness. A door is opening not to separation, but to oneness, not to bondage in time, but to eternity, where all souls remember where they came from and where they are going. You do not need to prepare anything more. You have lived enough, loved enough, hurt enough, hoped enough. What you leave behind in this world, the memories of kindness, of resilience, of light, will continue to grow in quiet ways, sprouting in other lives, in other generations. Your true legacy is not in what you owned, but in what you gave away: a well-timed smile, a loving embrace, a gentle word, a silent understanding. These are the marks you've left on the world, so do not be afraid, my child. I am here, and I have always been here. Not to accuse, but to lift you up. Not to close a chapter, but to open a realm. Let your soul become light as the wind, radiant as the dawn, and soft as water. Let every worry fall from you like autumn leaves. And step forward not with feet of flesh, but with wings of unwavering trust. I welcome you not with conditions, but with love, not to demand, but to unite. And in my embrace you will come to know this, that it has always been about love from the very beginning and into eternity. Now and forever you are, mine, a luminous soul among many, never lost, never forgotten, my beloved. When it feels like the world around you is spinning with dizzying change, when everything once familiar begins to feel foreign, and even your own heart is no longer a safe refuge, I call you to be still. In the noise of life I draw near, not with thunder or lightning, but with a quiet presence, like a breeze through the trees, a whisper that reaches the deepest corners of your being. My presence is not loud, not boastful, but it is real, more real than the fear you carry, more real than the wounds you think no one understands. Child, feel me, not by striving, not by forcing yourself to feel something, but simply by allowing. I have always been there. When you breathe, I am whispering. When you cry, I am wiping your tears. When you fall silent, I am beside you. I have never been far, not once. But sometimes in chasing after things outside of you, you forget that the door to me is within, where your truest self awaits recognition and welcome. I am the unchanging one, beloved. In a world of shifting sands, where love is fleeting and trust is fragile, I remain steady as a lighthouse in the storm, never extinguished, never abandoning those who are lost. I do not ask for your perfection. I only ask for your honesty. Come to me, as you are, with your weaknesses, your unfinished stories, your unspoken fears. I am not here to judge you, but to embrace you, not to condemn, but to heal. Do you not know? From the very beginning, your essence was never fear, never shame, never the roles you play to please the world. Your true self was woven by me with eternal love, a love without end, without condition, untouchable by time. In every fiber of your soul is light stitched with mercy, patience, and the hope I placed within. And no matter how many layers of pain or failure life has added, that light has never gone out. It waits only for your return, for the courage to believe you are still worthy of love. not because you've done enough, but because you are mine. If ever you feel lost to yourself, let me remind you, you are not the labels others place on you. You are not the stumbles or the shame. You are not the echoes of your past. You are my child, formed with goodness, called by name, touched by a love no one else can replicate. You don't have to look outward to find this truth, just be still long enough to hear it, feel it, trust it in your every heartbeat. I know there are fears you cannot name, fears that push you from me, that make you doubt your worthiness. But it is in that very moment, in what feels like the deepest night, that I come closer than ever. Not with scolding, but with comfort. Not with reason, but with a presence only the soul can recognize. You do not have to earn me. You only have to be exactly as I created you, tenderly, purposefully. Let me be your resting place, your inner fire, the whisper in the stillness that says, you are loved, you are seen, you are not lost. So stop running, beloved. Pause not to quit, but to return. Let the wind I send pass through your heart as a gentle reminder that in all the chaos of life, one thing never changes: my love for you. Let my light lead you back to your truest self, where no fear can reach, where you are free to be, where peace is not a product of your circumstances, but a promise held in my hand. Walk with confidence, knowing you are held by the one who never lets go. I am here. I have always been here. The moment you turn back, you'll find I have been waiting, not to shame you, but to embrace you, not to close the book, but to begin anew. And in this unchanging love, you will no longer need to find yourself, because you have always been the one my heart has loved most from the dawn of creation. My precious child, let your heart grow quiet for a moment. Allow your soul to rise above the clutter and chaos of this finite world, to hear what only the Spirit can understand. In the world you live in, everything seems bounded. Time races on space, feels confined. Emotions are tangled in loss, expectations, and sometimes a loneliness too deep for words. But I invite you not to escape reality, but to walk through it with the eyes of faith and the heart of awareness. Imagine, dear one, a boundless realm where all limits melt into eternal light. In that place, every soul is a burning star, every life a vibrant note in the grand symphony, echoing from the beginning of time into forever. No more division between you and others. No more walls separating you from wholeness. Only a sacred harmony among all existence, a connection not of form or speech, but of an ancient language older than words, love. You are not alone, and you never have been. The loneliness you sometimes feel is but the shadow of memory, the echo of limitations that the world has placed upon your soul. But your true essence, the deepest and most pure part of you, does not arise from isolation, but from connection, from the divine thread that ties you to the entirety of the universe I have crafted with flawless love. Every note you create through kindness, every compassionate act, every whispered prayer in the quiet of night, resounds in harmony with a greater rhythm, the rhythm of eternal life. My beloved child, it is love that has carried you through this journey, from the day you were born, through seasons of joy and sorrow, through each uncertain step, and even the days when you doubted you were worthy of being loved. That same love has never departed. It is not only the thread that sustained you through trials, but also the prelude to a symphony far more expansive than you can imagine. A joy awaits you, not the fleeting happiness of this world, but a joy profound and pure, surpassing all understanding, rising above every emotion that human language can convey. I know there were moments when you grew weary, moments when the light within you dimmed in the storms of life. You wondered if it was still worth believing in what you could not see. You questioned if it was wrong to long for something greater than yourself, a love that never changes, a truth that never fades, an anchor that cannot be shaken. No, my child, that longing is not weakness. It is a calling from the very depth of who you are, drawing you back to what has always been yours from the beginning, eternity. In that sacred space where souls unite in light, there is no rivalry, no status to compete for, no hidden pain to mask. There is only mutual acceptance, understanding that requires no explanation, and peace born from knowing you belong to something far greater than yourself. And in that place where you are no longer confined by flesh or scarred by memory, you will see that you have lost nothing at all, but were simply returning home to wholeness. So, my beloved, when your heart feels parched in the desert of life, lift your eyes. Imagine the night sky where every star is a soul shining with the light of its existence. You are one of those stars. Though your light may seem faint at times beneath passing clouds, it never goes out. And I, like a silent conductor, am holding you, guiding your every step so that the symphony you are part of may echo through eternity. Let your soul remember you are not bound by your past, not limited by your present, and not defined by what your eyes see or your ears hear. You are called to live higher, deeper, and brighter, not by your own strength, but by the power of the love I placed within you. And as you live in that truth, you will come to see a wonder that this life, though fleeting, is already a piece of the eternal. Everything you're sowing, doing, and living is weaving into the radiant tapestry that one day you will see fully in the light of my glory. I love you, and that love never runs dry. It is the very force that formed the universe, the background melody of every moment lived, and the place where you will forever find yourself. So keep living, keep believing, keep walking like a small yet irreplaceable star in the everlasting symphony of creation. My beloved child, when you look back on your life's journey, the turns that seemed lost, the sudden detours, the rough roads you thought you'd never get through, know that none of it was outside my loving providence. Every footprint you left behind, whether trembling or firm, tells a sacred story. The story of extraordinary strength in a fragile soul that refused to give up, of a light that did not fade in the thickest night, and of the boundless mercy quietly poured out along every step you took. You may not see clearly, but I have never taken my eyes off you. Even when you felt most alone, when you collapsed in tears, when you looked up and saw only a silent sky, those were the moments I was closest. Not to demand strength from you, but to carry you in the arms of unconditional love. You never walked alone, my child. Every step, every choice, every fear overcome, every fragile hope preserved, my hand was beneath you, holding you, steadying you, leading you. That journey, though not paved with roses, though bearing wounds still unhealed, is the living proof of one truth, that your spirit holds a power the world cannot comprehend. A power rooted not in control, but in trust. Not in force, but in love. I placed within you a part of myself, a spark that no circumstance can extinguish, a resurrection power that breathes, even when all seems lost. So, my beloved, never underestimate the path you've walked. What you've overcome is not merely pain, it is transformation. Not simply loss, it is renewal. Not failure, but an invitation to dive deeper into the truth of who you are, where I await not with judgment, but with eyes full of love. And as you continue walking, you're not only moving forward, you're moving closer into my heart, a refuge no one can take from you, where fear dissolves and every dream can be reborn. You are not just protected, you are cradled, not as a weak child, but as a sacred soul being held with heaven's gentleness. The love I have for you is not a passing feeling. It is the love that existed before you knew this world and will remain forever. A love that transcends time, that is not limited by your failures or achievements, that does not fade when you doubt yourself. I do not lead you by chance. Your path is traced by ancient wisdom, a wisdom older than stars, older than the first light ever summoned out of darkness. And that wisdom whispers through every step you take that you are not merely surviving. You are a soul guided by divine purpose and perfect intention. Oh, my child, there will be times you will not understand why I allow painful things to happen, but I ask you to trust that not a single tear you've cried is meaningless. Not one crack in your soul is wasted. It is through those cracks that my light shines in. It is through those breaks that you've learned to love more deeply, to live more truly, to know what truly matters. I do not promise you an easy life, but I promise something greater: you will never have to walk it alone. I am the fire in the night, the hand in the pit, the still voice in the storm, and I am the one who believes in you even when you've stopped believing in yourself. So, my beloved, keep walking. Do not fear that you are not strong enough, because true strength is not in never falling, but in rising each time you fall, in daring to believe again each time you doubt, in daring to love again each time your heart breaks. I see all of this in you, and I am proud. One day, when you look back on this journey, you won't only see the scars of pain, but a golden thread woven through it all. That thread is the love and mercy I used to stitch together every broken part of you. And you will understand not one day was wasted, not one trial in vain, not one prayer unheard. My beloved child, you are not a lost soul wandering in the darkness of the world. Though this world may make you feel like a speck of dust in the rush of time, I declare you are the radiant image of the Holy One, a flame breathed into life by the very breath of heaven. You were not born by accident, not to hide in shadows, but to shine with a light as glorious as 1,000 suns combined. And that light does not come from what you achieve by earthly standards. It comes from the divine essence I placed within you since the foundation of creation. In the wondrous tapestry of life, a masterpiece being woven daily through the silent movements of time and grace, your life is a radiant thread, not misplaced, not excessive. That thread is interwoven with pure love and profound purpose flowing from eternity. Every experience, every smile, every broken moment, every quiet sacrifice, all of it is part of that sacred design. Do not think that your worth lies only in success or perfection. Even on the days when you feel you have nothing to offer, you are still a precious part of the eternal essence I am patiently and lovingly completing. And now, as you begin to feel the breath of a new season drawing near, as you sense something stirring within you, like the first light of a dawn not yet fully seen, it is then that I invite you to step forward, not by striving but by gentle surrender, not to seize but to receive, not to cling tightly to all things but to learn the sacred art of letting go of worn-out expectations, unseen burdens, and even the quiet fears that whisper to you in the night. For it is in surrender that you will discover the deepest beauty, not the kind shaped by outward perfection, but the beauty of a soul quietly trusting. When you release the past, not by denying it, but by placing it into my hands, you will find yourself lighter, more open to embrace what is yet unknown. Do not fear the future, for it holds not only the unseen, but also me, the one who has gone before you, prepared everything in advance, and will never leave your side. You do not need to understand it all to walk into the light of a new chapter. You only need to know this: the light is not far from you. It is waiting in each moment you dare to believe you are worthy of living fully. I did not create you to live bound by worry, regret, or the feeling of never being enough. I created you to know that in my love you have always been enough. Enough to be forgiven, enough to be healed, enough to be chosen, and enough to be sent as a light into the world. My child, let the light from me shine through the cracks you carry. Let my love fill the spaces you once called lacking. Let my grace become the bridge that leads you from a wounded past into a future filled with hope. And remember, true freedom does not come from controlling everything, but from daring to let go and allowing me to lead. You do not need to walk alone. I am still here, not waiting for you to be perfect before I show up. I am walking with you in every breath, in every small choice, in every heartbeat that feels tired but keeps on beating. I see you. I know you. And I love you not because you always get it right, but because you always belong to me. So, beloved, one step into the dawn that is unfolding before you, not with eyes full of doubt, but with a heart softened and ready. For on the other side of the door is the fullness of life, where you can be wholly yourself, where everything I planted in your heart from the beginning will blossom, where you no longer strive to be loved, but simply live in love deep, enduring, and eternal. My beloved child, let the light within your soul shine, not because the world needs to see something grand, but because that light is the truest part of you. It is the light I placed in your heart from the beginning when I called you into life through love and purpose. That light does not only guide you, it becomes a silent beacon for others searching for their way in the dark. There are souls waiting to be warmed by your faith, uplifted by the courageous footprints you leave behind, and awakened by your sincere presence in this chaotic world. Now, in this sacred moment of transition, as you stand between what has been and what is coming, I place in your hands a gift no force can take from you: complete forgiveness. Not partial forgiveness, not forgiveness that demands repayment, but the kind that flows from pure love, a love that has seen every weakness, every stumble, every wound within you, and still says, I choose you. And not only do I forgive, I bless you so you can begin again, not from lack or shame, but from fullness and belovedness. You don't need to look back with regret. Nothing has been left unfinished. Nothing is too late. Every experience you have carried, both the ones you wish had never happened and the ones you feared to lose, has become a precious note in the eternal symphony I am composing with your life. There are low notes, high notes, silent rests, and soaring crescendos, and everyone is needed to create a song that is complete, authentic, and sacred. You are not defined by the dark days you've walked through. but by the light you've kept alive in your heart even when everything else seemed to fall apart. That is why today I invite you into a new chapter, a realm where all things are possible, where the past no longer dictates the future, and where your heart is freed from the weight of what once was. Come into this chapter with a heart made light, not holding bitterness, not burdened by old judgments, but filled with hope, sacred curiosity, and the desire to live fully. I do not ask you to understand it all. I simply invite you to believe that in the vast ocean of my love, your soul will find shelter, new breath, and wings to rise beyond the limits that once held you. You are not only forgiven, you are reborn. And this rebirth is not to erase the past, but to view it through the lens of grace. Not as dark chapters to be discarded, but as pages decorated with courage, perseverance, and a love that never gave up. Each step you now take in this new journey is a quiet reminder that the miraculous is not far away. It has always been hidden within the core of who you are, where I planted the seeds of heaven and waited for them to bloom. You are an irreplaceable part of the sacred tapestry I am weaving. Without you, a color would be missing that no one else can provide. Without your voice, a melody would be absent that no one else can sing. And without the love you carry, this world would lack a light I long to spread. Do not doubt your worth, my child. Do not think your offering is small. For your sincerity, your presence, and your tender heart are already a profound gift to this world. Keep walking, not because you are fully ready, but because I am fully ready to walk with you. Let your light shine, not by trying to shine, but simply by being real, loving truly, and believing deeply. I will use that light, an unfading light, to bring hope to others, and to remind you, you are living in an eternal current, never lost, never abandoned. I am here, and I will always be here. In every step you take, in every dream you dare to nurture, in every moment you dare to believe you are loved. And I say this to you now with all the faithfulness of a love that never changes. You are the light I have placed in this world, the embodiment of hope, the living proof of life. And that light, your light, will never go out, not because of darkness, not because of failure, not because of anything. For that light comes from me, and I am the one who never changes. My beloved child, may the light of truth, the same light that has shone through generations and guided countless souls to find themselves in the midst of life's uncertainties, now be the very light that leads you as you embark on a new chapter in the never-ending journey of your soul. You are not leaving something behind, but stepping into a new fullness. This is not an ending, but a continuation of love, of awareness, of your divine essence becoming more complete in my light. Rest now, dear one. Let your heart release the burdens that have clung to you through countless seasons of hardship. In my embrace, you do not need to be strong, nor do you need to prove yourself worthy. For my love for you is not based on what you do, but on who you are, a vital part of my eternal heart. Nothing in this universe is ever lost, my child. Not a single prayer whispered in the dark goes unheard. Not a single tear falls without being kept by me. And not one moment of your life is wasted, because every experience, whether joy or sorrow, is woven into a sacred tapestry that reflects the profound spiritual beauty of your soul. You are a spark of divinity, a radiant ember from the inextinguishable source of life. This spark not only carries the warmth of love, but holds the miraculous strength of courage, of compassion, of a yearning that constantly reaches toward the light. In every loving act, every kind word, every choice to live true to your inherent goodness, you are illuminating this world with the very light I placed within your heart. And that light, once ignited, cannot be extinguished by darkness, nor vanish into nothingness. It will continue to burn, continue to spread, continue to touch souls who need a ray of hope to rise again, who need a word of love to keep going. Therefore, every breath you take, every step you place in this world, is a quiet declaration that you are living in eternity. You are not merely a finite body constrained by time or space. You carry within you the endless echo of my love, a love that cannot be measured, cannot run dry, and will never be withdrawn. That love existed before you were formed in your mother's womb, and it will remain long after the marks of this earthly life fade away with time. Do not fear the unknown, for it is precisely there that I wait with arms wide open. Do not dread the changes approaching, for each shift is part of the sacred symphony in which you are playing your note. You are never left behind. I do not walk ahead so that you must forever chase after me, nor do I stand afar to test your loyalty. I am walking with you, beside you, holding you in each moment you feel too weak to stand. Live as though you know where you came from and to whom you belong. Walk with the holy pride of a soul crafted by love, for love, and through love. The world may try to make you doubt this with its wounds, its comparisons, its voices of uncertainty, but the truth remains unchanged. You are light. You are the reflection of the Eternal One. And you were destined to shine, not to draw attention, but to warm the places that have grown too cold for too long. A new journey lies before you, not to prove something, but to rediscover what has always been your beautiful, authentic self, without masks, without armor, simply light, simply life, simply love. Each day in this journey is an invitation to step beyond old comfort zones, to dare to live fully, to love without fear, to believe even when the path is unclear, and to rejoice in the seemingly small things that are truly sacred. I do not promise you will never face challenges, but I promise you something far greater. No challenge will ever overcome you when you remember that you belong to the light. And in that light, every wound becomes a gateway to compassion. Every weakness becomes fertile ground for strength to grow, and every limitation is only a prelude to liberation. So go forth, my child, with the confidence that you are being led not only by your mind but by a wisdom far beyond human understanding. Let each of your steps beat in rhythm with a heart alive, in union with eternal life. And let everyone you meet, every place your feet tread, bear the imprint of someone who knows how deeply they are loved. I love you. And that love, not measured by time, not confined by space, will be your unshakable refuge, your compass on every journey, your light in every decision, and the lullaby of your soul through every long night and every new dawn. Amen. As a child of God, you are never alone. I am always beside you, gently reminding you to live in faith and in the knowledge that you are cherished. Follow and turn on notifications so you never miss the words I speak from heaven. Amen.